Ryan, and it's Angott, right?
Yep.
All right, make sure I pronounce that right. President of LapLok. Now, I'm familiar. I had a number of people approach me about getting Ryan on the show. So you must have one hell of a product. So let's talk about it.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been quite a journey as an entrepreneur, especially going through COVID and supply chain. Everyone talks about it, but the challenge is real. So we started the idea about 4 years ago to really bring the world's first retrofitting physical security device or security product for laptops and tablets to the market. And the timing's been great for a work from anywhere world. And we just launched sales a couple weeks ago in Indiegogo, and we start manufacturing in August. So fun time.
And this came about how? What's the genesis of all this?
Yeah. So I myself have been a cybersecurity sales executive for about 7 years, selling to major accounts, the GMs, the Whirlpools, et cetera, out there, and several big healthcare. And I just saw a need in the market. I'm an entrepreneur in my core. And when I see opportunity, it just kind of hits me out of nowhere. And about 4 years ago, I was working remote, and I always have been. I was in between meetings at a Panera Bread, I think, and I had about an hour and a half gap. And I would go to up, get a refill on my pop, go use a restroom, get my sandwich, whatever. And I would consistently find myself like, do I leave my laptop here? Should I leave it unattended? That's not good cyber hygiene. I know there's a ton of risk, very little risk. It's going to get stolen, but a huge loss. And my company came out with a statement saying if you are negligent on your laptop, it's a fireable offense now. With data privacy laws and the seriousness of cybercrime and data loss, it's just become a big problem. In fact, every 53 seconds, there's a laptop lost or stolen. It costs U.S. businesses $6 billion in annual loss. And the light bulb went off. I go, man, there really isn't a physical remote locking mechanism to lock my stuff down. And that's when the idea hit me. And 4 years later, we just started sales. So that's how it all started.
I've heard about it. I've seen it described in words, but I have yet to actually see what it looks like. You wouldn't have to have one handy you could show the audience, would you?
I did, but I just dropped them off at
Ah,
our engine. My dad is my partner and an engineer, and we're worksmithing one of the a little minor glitch in one of the mechanical parts. So I don't physically have one to show anybody. I have a box here, and working at home or remote, this is a nice branded LapLok, but my 3-year-old daughter just scribbled on this yesterday.
hmm.
So, this is a box of prototype parts. So unfortunately, I don't have a lot I can physically show people. But if you go on the Indiegogo campaign page, you can type in LapLok, LAPLOK. I have LapLok.com. So we've got about 6, let's say, working functional prototypes. And, every now and again, we find a little snag and we refine them. And we're doing that right now through our pilot process with our Indian manufacturer to get it 100% before we go into a full mass production this late summer.
Describe how it actually secures the laptop to what the table or the desk or whatever you're working on.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. I mean, the style design is really a C-clamp style, and the product's about the size. It fits in the palm of your hand. It's about the size of a smartphone. And what it does is there's a one-time installation of a semi-permanent piece you put on the bottom of your laptop. For example, this one doesn't have one, but that goes on the bottom. That arm, when swings out, I have one on this laptop, but I can't show you because I'm talking about my computer. The arm swings out, and then the LapLok, you can adjust the height of the table. So we'll fit up to a 5.5-inch table down to a 1-inch table thickness. That clamping force goes down, kind of cinches together on the table, and you push the top lever down on the product. You hit your code 212, just like a digital security code you might see in a locker room, or like a PIN code for an ATM. You hit your button, and then you're locked and you're secured. So if anyone tries to move your device, there's a 100 decibel option alarm that lets off a blaring noise. In addition to that, mechanically, the engineering has really been beautifully done, Mike. You can't get it off the table I mean, you could with a crowbar or a hammer or something that, you got enough time and tools, you can get anything off, but it's almost impossible to get it off a table, but it's very easy and user friendly to take it on and off. That's the beauty of the design.
All right. So essentially, then you could be in your coffee shop somewhere. You could actually walk up. I mean, I don't know whether I would do it. I mean, my whole world is on my laptop. So I don't even want to think about what could happen. But
Sure.
essentially, the theory is you could go up, get your coffee, leave it alone. And if somebody did tamper with it, it would send out your alarm. But even so, the way you're indicating that it's secured so tightly, it's not
Yeah.
something that you can just slide out and run off with or something, right?
Yeah. I mean, you really can't get it off the table. I mean, I don't like to say that if you have a crowbar, you come in for a half hour. Yeah, you're going to get it off. Not a real practical grab and go scenario. That's what we're trying to prevent, that easy, quick grab and go. Thieves want something easy. My dad and I have 30 years in the physical and software security side of things in our business, background of businesses. But yeah, it's really the convenience. And our sell to businesses or people, it's B2B and B2C, is that it's a work from anywhere world. If you're at Starbucks or you go into your workspace, which is now often shared once or twice a week, you don't know everybody. It's kind of a hybrid world, big office, big campus, whatever. You don't have cubes. There isn't that personal, private, secure space anymore. We've provided a product that you can lock your laptop. We also have a little product called Bag Lock, which is a little non-cuttable strap loop that goes onto the LapLok. You can put your bag or briefcase on that as well, and it's all secured together. So I have a little mobile security space for yourself, and that's really the draw. Is that's the convenience and peace of mind. If you've got to go take a phone call, you want to use a restroom, you want to go get a coffee, you're at an airport, you're in a shared workspace, you can do it without packing all your stuff up, worrying about you losing your spot, and just going about your day.
All right. So this is selling on this crowdfunding campaign for how much?
On Indiegogo right now, we've got an early bird special. It's $48. When we come into full retail, late summer, early fall, like on Amazon or a variety of different websites, there'll be a $79.95. So you do save about 40% buying it now.
Ah, and you say that they're going to ship sometime in August. Is that right?
There's a first batch that rolls out of 100 units in August. And then we do 1,000 units, and then we fulfill the rest of our orders, or they kind of go in batches. But August shipment starts. So people bought them today. They'd either get them in late August, early September. So, 2 to 3 months, depending on several factors. And then we also are selling the business bundle packs. So we have had several companies buy 25 pack, a 50 pack. You can buy 100 packs, supply them for your staff, your sales team, whoever, is working remote, little employee perk, convenience, productivity tool. We call it the productivity bundle. And those are available as well at a significant discount.
So what's it like working with a crowdfunding campaign? Has it been easy, hard? Not,
The crowdfunding arena has changed quite a bit in the last couple of years. I think there's a lot of skepticism from non-reputable companies that just don't follow through. So I think we have it's tougher to convert a new buyer who doesn't know me or my dad or a business personally than it would be if you're just selling on Amazon. So it's kind of a different sales model. So it's challenging and it's expensive. We have chosen not to do really any Facebook or Google advertising because the ROI is it's not even close to being justifiable. And that's been the traditional route in Indiegogo. So we really pivoted and several times. And, we've done e-blast, just targeted different marketing outside of just kind of a broad stroke on social media. So that's provided its own challenges.
Yeah, I got to tell you too, I've had some really bad experiences buying things on Facebook. The pictures look great, but when you get the physical product, it's really not very good. So I don't. I imagine other people have had similar experiences,
Yeah,
right?
I do. And we don't, the challenge of being a startup, not so much in the state, I think it's any entrepreneur, is like, the social proof. We have prototypes and product in the field, but sometimes we'll have an issue. We've got to go get it fixed. And I don't have product right here to show you because they're out being tested, or we just ship two back to our supplier in India. And we have engineer consultants that do that stuff for us, or with us. But you don't have social proof. You don't have 100, 200, 300 reviews on Google or Amazon. You don't have influencers in the way you market and sell. It's trust and credibility. And we've got a brand new product. Even though there's been people in a pilot audience have tested it, when it's not at a mass scale, widely available for reviews on video or whatever mechanism, people are naturally skeptical. And that's the biggest challenge we've had.
Yeah, absolutely. I can totally understand that. So, so you don't manufacture these in the U.S. Where do you manufacture them at?
We tried every way possible. We spent every nickel we have in Michigan. We actually got a state grant for some things, but the actual manufacturer comes from India. And we've actually found a great partner over there. But we tried manufacturing small electronics in the state or in the US. It just wasn't feasible from a cost or marketing standpoint.
Yeah. So the only thing you got to worry about though right now is supply chain's pretty messed up. So is that impacting you as well?
Yeah, I mean, there was one component we couldn't get for 58 weeks. We had to do some redesigning a product's expensive, laborious. I mean, it's tough, and we've had hurdle after hurdle, especially starting this before COVID, now kind of somewhat coming out of COVID. And getting just, I mean, my dad is 42 patents. He's, built over 10 million products in India and China in his career, 50-year career. This is one of my first. And so he's got all the experience in the world, but it doesn't matter. There's still a ton of challenges. We've had to go through actually 28 different manufacturers, starting in the States to China to landing in India.
Hmm.
Huge
Wow.
headache. It's an understatement.
Yes. It's challenging enough being an entrepreneur with all the current problems that we have today in the world on top of that, right?
And being bootstrapped for cash. If you got just a money tree in the backyard of millions of dollars, makes things a little easier. But the reality is you just can't get on a flight. If we were able to go to India or China a year or 2 years ago, I mean, it would have saved us months, if not a year, on time to market, because that relationship, the devil's in the details. It's so much more difficult. You can't do a factory walkthrough. You can't see with your own eyes. And that's the way my dad did business over there for almost 30 years. And that's kind of gone, or for the time being. Again, that's just one of many hurdles on supply chain overseas.
Okay. So let's now talk about how folks can find your product. Sure, you have a website, you have the crowdfunding campaign. Why don't you give those addresses?
Yeah, the easiest one, the Indiegogo link is fairly long, but if you go on LapLok.com, LAPLOK, very simple, LapLok.com. You can go on the front page. Right in the middle is a banner that says how to buy. You click on that. It takes you to our Indiegogo page. Again, our campaign ends this Friday. It's been going on for 3 weeks. Friday is the last day. You get 40% off. You're backing a great Michigan startup business. I promise you these things are in production and tooling's paid for. There's been over $300,000 that have been invested into the company, and it's very real, and it's coming out. So we've got about 15 grand in orders already. We tripled our campaign goal, but we really are hoping for 25 to 50,000 is our overall goal. So we appreciate any backing and support. Thank you.